remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
So maybe Clemson's pretty good, huh? That team that, I don't know, everybody just about picked to lose in the first round to New Mexico is now in the Elite Eight. And looky here. I got Clemson and Alabama on the national stage, and Dabo Swinney and Nick Saban are nowhere to be found. Good morning, Merry Friday. Good Friday, if you prefer. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ, Buck, and DC. How you living?
Oh, what it do?
You all right back there?
Oh, I am fantastic.
Yeah, you are. All right. Here's what was reaffirmed yesterday. Connecticut is freaking really good. They blew the Aztecs out. Mountain West is done. 30-point victory that, I mean, they outscored them. JJ, it was a 4-point game with a minute and a half to go in the first half. So they outscored them by 34 in the last 21 minutes. Just ran away from San Diego State. They are that good. Illinois is nice. They beat the number 2 seed Iowa State, so now they get their crack at UConn. And Clemson, dude, Clemson does to Arizona what Arizona gets done to them in March. And Alabama and North Carolina was a flat-out entertaining watch up and down. And I got Alabama and Clemson, and it's not in the Sugar Bowl or it's not in the national championship football game. It's in the Elite Eight. No Dabo Swinney and Nick Saban.
Well, we got what we expected, North Carolina, Alabama, which was
fun.
all the points
Yeah.
in an offensive showdown between those two squads. And Alabama getting through to the Elite Eight and a team that had to replace a whole lot from last year's squad and looking really good. And Grant Nelson was fantastic, 19 points in the second half for Alabama. And you're right, Arizona, their ceiling has pretty much been the Sweet 16 recently. And Clemson has been such a steady team. And they are just tough. And you watch them play, and you wonder, like, what happened at the end of the season? Because that is a well-balanced team that's efficient offensively. Their size causes problems for other teams, including Arizona. And a really impressive run from the Clemson Tigers.
They're nice. They're solid. They're athletic. They don't beat themselves. They are in JJ. So a 6 seed is through to the Elite Eight, and we'll see what North Carolina State does tonight. Tonight you get Houston, Duke, North Carolina State, Marquette in the South, and Purdue, Gonzaga, Creighton, and Tennessee in the Midwest. But Clemson, probably is the team that is the biggest surprise. And you'll say North Carolina State is because they're the 11, but I don't know because they won the ACC tournament. And Clemson went out in the first round to Boston College and got handled. And Boston College was an 11th seed in the ACC. And you look at it and you say, of all the teams that are still here, who's the biggest surprise? And it might be them. And they might be the quietest winner. And they handled Arizona yesterday in a game where if they didn't have your attention by now, they better have your attention because they just knocked the 2 out. but when you watch them, they do everything really well. I don't know that they're spectacular anywhere, but they do everything really well. They obviously really like Bobby Brownell, their head coach, who, as we were listening to stuff before the New Mexico game, their fan base wanted to fire this coach. I'm going to guess, and I don't know that for a fact, but a run to the Elite Eight and maybe beyond should get this guy an opportunity to keep his job for a little bit at a school that's a football school, quote, air quotes. But I look at Clemson and, I don't know that I see a ton of weaknesses. They're really, really steady.
Yeah, and to that point, you look at last night's game. They really did frustrate the Wildcats with their size because Clemson was out rebounded. They didn't shoot it particularly well.
They shot
from three.
49% overall from the field, though.
Yeah, they free throws, both teams were 68%. But it's just the consistency. Only turned the ball over at 10 times. Heck, Arizona only turned it over 9 times.
Yeah.
It's just Arizona could not hit a 3-point shot for the life of them, but they were kind of forced to be more of a jump shooting team because of the size of Clemson. And Ian Shefflin is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that dude is the X factor in this because you have a 6'8" small forward that can survive on the perimeter, that can play out there, but he's essentially a power forward. And so that front line of Shefflin, Clark, and Hall, the Lobos saw it firsthand how tough it is. And you're seeing opponents, big-time opponents, struggle with the size of Clemson.
14.7 rebounds for Shefflin, and then P.J. Hall, who's their best player, 17 and 8. They get 18 points out of Chase Hunter, and they were good. They were good. So
Gerard hit one shot. They're sniper in that game.
Yeah. No, they're moving on. And then there was what UConn did, and look, San Diego State played with them for a minute, and they were hanging around 6-9, and I'm like, okay, if you make some shots, San Diego State, you're going to be okay. The Aztecs shot 5 of 22 from 3-point land last night, and outside of Jaden Ledee, and this is what I've told you all year, and I could show you group text stuff. This has been my concern about San Diego State all year. Who is going to consistently score for San Diego State if it's not Jaden Ledee? And he had a really big first half, and they shut him down in the second half. I think he got tired and worn out by going up against those gigantic dudes. And the bottom line here, and all you had to do was just watch for a few minutes. The offensive rebounding by UConn was sick. They had 21 offensive rebounds. So overall, UConn out-rebounded the Aztecs 50-29. They out-rebounded San Diego State by 21. And they had 21 offensive rebounds. Second chance points that were the key. They would get literally 4 shots on a possession, dude. And that's what killed San Diego State. Their defense wasn't horrible. In fact, UConn didn't shoot an insane clip, 46%. But San Diego State turned the ball over. At the end of the game, they didn't know how to handle it. Like, there was Crisco on the basketball. It was UConn completely took them away. And UConn is making good teams, San Diego State and Northwestern, look, I mean, just like average. They look bored, almost rolling through it. They're that damn good.
Yeah, it is one that I know if you're an Aztec fan, you're going to be all up in arms. You got to the Sweet 16, like with a team that you didn't think was any good this year, and that was happening. I don't
know that Aztec fans all up in arms. I mean,
like what?
You disappointed you didn't go as far as last year? Yeah, you went to the championship game.
Like UConn is a number 1 seed that is so much better than Alabama because UConn defends.
Yeah,
they're efficient offensively, and San Diego State's a little bit. The biggest thing is the size.
Yeah.
That was what was so impressive about San Diego State last year. Nathan Mensah inside.
What did I tell you yesterday?
Keyshawn Johnson. That's exactly what we've talked about. And it's not like the way they played last year. Yeah, they could overcome some of their offensive deficiencies because they were big, they were strong defensively. Not quite that same team this year. You saw in the second half. And UConn is a special team. That's why it is so hard to do. People are saying, yeah, this team could go back.
Yeah, they can. When we were having the conversation about this yesterday, and I told you, I had a not good feeling about this game. And why? What did we talk about? We talked about the size. What's you asked me literally straight up, what's the difference? And I said the depth up front. And they don't have a Matt Bradley scorer, right? They don't have a go-to scorer in the backcourt. Last year, you knew you could run your offense on the perimeter through Matt Bradley, and Butler would hit a shot, and somebody would score. And then you had up front, you had Mensah at the rim. And Ladie came off the bench last year, which is amazing. But you had Mensah, and you had a Guaca Rope to throw by. And he was good. He would get rebounds. And then you had Keyshawn Johnson, who was playing for Arizona last night, who also went out in the Sweet 16. So Mountain West is done, and they get one team to the Sweet 16. There'll be 8 teams left after tonight. Right now, you got a Big East team, a Big 12 team. Big 10 team, an ACC team, and an SEC team. Pac-12 is also done with Arizona going out. Other side, you got Houston left. So you'll have Big 12 against ACC, Houston, Duke. You'll have ACC against Big East, North Carolina State, Marquette. Big 10 versus West Coast Conference in Purdue and Gonzaga. And Big East versus SEC in Creighton and Tennessee tonight. And the order of your games tonight, if you're looking for them, and we'll have, of course, all the games here on the Sports Animal. The order of the games tonight, the first one is North Carolina State Marquette. That tips at 5:09. 5:39 will be Gonzaga Purdue, then Duke Houston, then Creighton Tennessee. Isotopes opening night tonight will be over on News Radio KQB. In fact, all weekend, Isotopes baseball over on News Radio KQB as we bring you the March Madness and the Sweet 16 tonight and the Elite Eight over the next 2 days. I just bottom line on UConn. JJ, I mean, damn. Like literally, damn.
Special basketball team.
Yeah. All right, we'll take your calls. 505-246-0610. Here's what we're doing today. Kenny Thomas due to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. Kick it with Kenny. We'll talk to him about the NCAA tournament, want his thoughts certainly on Draymond and the Warriors and Draymond's latest ejection and what it means to that basketball team. Because bottom line is, JG, tell me again, best ability is what?
Availability.
Yeah, they're one game clear of not being even in the play-in tournament, the Golden State Warriors. And when you got a dude like that, the reason you put up with him is because he's so good on the court. Not available hurts you. We're going to get into that and want to talk to Kenny about that. 9:30, Pedro Lopez, the Isotopes manager, field manager. The media day was yesterday. The roster's set. Opening day is tonight. So looking forward to having a conversation with Pedro Lopez and get you ready for opening night tonight. Get your Elmer Fudd hats. John Traub told me that's not what they're called. They're called ear flap hats.
I believe that, yes.
I mean,
it's an Elmer Fudd hat.
What gives you a better deal? If you're walking, if I told you, hey, they're handing out ear flap hats or they're handing out Elmer Fudd hats, which gives you the better?
Well, there's probably some copyright laws that's why they can't advertise.
They can't, but I can.
Yes.
Right. If I'm just trying to describe to you what they are, right? Okay. Elmer Fudd ear flap hats. How about that? Or ear flap hats like the ones Elmer Fudd wore. And I guess there's plenty of people going, who the hell's Elmer Fudd? That's probably right too, right? No, that's got to be right, dude. That's got to be. Do your kids know who Elmer Fudd is?
Nope.
We did when we were 5.
Yes, we did.
All right. Fair enough. They were your flap hats. Stupid. All right, when we come back, opening day was yesterday. Maybe JJ's right. Maybe the Rockies are already 7 games out of first place. Holy smokes. How the hell does that happen? A record-setting performance by the defending National League champs. How can you be 7 games out, 1 game in? I'll tell you next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews,
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it. You make my heart better.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today.
Now Addie's 17 now, so we're talking 12, 13, 14 years ago, we were somewhere and I found a DVD set of the Flintstones.
Oh, that is awesome.
And so I turned her on to the Flintstones back in the day. And so she kind of she watched it and she kind of dug it. I found some old HR Puffin stuffs and Lidsvilles on YouTube and turned her on. She thought Witchy Poo was funny as hell and HR Puffin. Like she dug some of that old Sid and Marty Krofft stuff. Sid and Marty Krofft, like Sigmund the Sea Monster, HR Puffin. That was just so stony, dude. Like, I mean, is there a better way to? If you got a better way to term that, I'm listening.
There is no better way.
They were unbelievable, right? But Lidsville, like the kid who fell into the hat, right? Falling into the hat, he fell, and then he lands in the land of hat people.
So,
and he had his magic flute. No, that was Jimmy. That was HR Puffin stuff. Yeah, that was HR Puffin stuff.
I have gone down the Flintstones trail before because
Yeah.
there was a Flintstones movie that came out when my oldest was
Yep.
fairly young. So we did go back and watch the actual like drawn
Yeah.
cartoons. the real
Hanna-Barbera.
thing. Yeah, and they were so good.
Yeah.
And then, do you remember when they introduced the alien character?
Yeah, it was Kazoo.
Yes,
the little
that's
green guy
right.
Kazoo, and he would make stuff. Kazoo, get me out of traffic. Yeah, I used to wish I had my own Kazoo.
We all did.
Yeah,
Good old days.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, I'm happy to share it if I find, if you can still play DVDs. But, but yeah, I mean, it's parenting, man. I don't know if she knows who Elmer Fudd is, so that'd be a really good question. I might have failed her there. She would watch some of the old Looney Tunes stuff.
Very nice.
And there was an age she was like, Dad, they can say that? like no, honestly,
Yeah.
like she hit an age where it's like, whoa,
Wait a second.
yeah,
Are they trying to tell me?
you know what I'm saying? Some of the
Well, just watch that Nickelodeon documentary that came out.
I haven't seen that.
Oh goodness.
What
yeah.
is it?
Speaking of my childhood,
Basically on how racist old cartoons were? Or what?
No,
that's a whole
production.
different can of worms.
Yeah. Production.
But like
in the
all
90s.
that, the young kid shows that. Yeah, that's a very inappropriate themes because one of the producers was.
So intentionally
guy.
inappropriate? We all grew up on cartoons. Does that explain a lot to you now?
Definitely changes the way you
Remember
look.
Foghorn Leghorn and the Coyote? Man, the Coyote, you just have anvils fall on him all the time, right? Against Roadrunner. I mean, he would die 15 times in one episode.
And all that was based in New Mexico, wasn't it? The Roadrunner series. I thought?
I should have turned maybe. I don't. Maybe I don't know that. I don't know that it's not true. Yeah. All right. You know, it looks like a cartoon. Your team. So how can you be 7 games back after one game? Well, realistically, you can't. And so I so wanted them to win yesterday so I could celebrate with you that your Colorado Rockies were in first place. Opening day yesterday, Major League Baseball. And, of course, the Dodgers won, and they won 7-1, and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts all had big games, and, I mean, whatever. The Dodgers are going to Dodger, right? So then what did the Rockies do? Rockies gave up a record 14 runs in the third inning. It is the most runs scored in an inning on opening day in the history of Major League Baseball. They let Kyle Freeland get out there and give up 10 earned runs and 2 1/3. They got beat 16-1. So, I mean, if you get beat 16-1, are you 7 games back?
Yeah, I might not know a lot,
Yeah.
but I know a few things.
All right, tell me.
And it's to never believe the Colorado Rockies are going to do anything.
Bud Black's still their manager, right?
Yeah.
I feel for Bud Black because I think Bud Black is a good one. And I'll give you, I got Bud Black bias. He's an Aztec. I met Bud Black a couple of times. Really, 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 really like Bud Black. He's going to be thought of as a crummy manager because how are you supposed to win?
Well, this is one. I think baseball managers are fascinating because I think Bud Black is a very good manager. But it's not like you can say, "Hey, let's slow it down. Let's go to a 1-3-1 zone.
Right.
Or let's run a couple high pick and rolls. Or you know what?
How am I going to defend
run the
Jay
football
Ledee? Yeah.
Let's try to get the ground game going. It's just a different style because you can just sit there and dug and be like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
All right, boys, let's go get him tomorrow." Yeah.
It's a disaster of a roster.
I looked. It looked so bizarre. Did you guys watch any of it?
I did.
Yeah, how'd you feel?
Okay,
Like I felt watching the Aztecs get run by 30
34
last
minutes
night?
to get 3 outs.
34, and okay, I saw that 34-minute inning. I couldn't decide if I thought that was really long or really short for a 14-run inning.
Fair point.
I couldn't. So initially, I thought because it was literally one of my first thoughts when I saw the 14 up in the third inning. I'm like, I wonder how long that took, and I was guessing somewhere in the area of 45 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't feel.
But with the pitch clock, it was only 34 minutes. I know their pitcher, Gallen, wanted. He's like, "All right, boys, I want to play. Like, get me out there."
That right there is the biggest thing you should say. Like, hey, you can score 14 runs an inning in just 34 minutes because of the pitch clock.
Yeah, I honestly could. Like, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't decide if it was too long or too little. Like, 30. Does it feel long or light for a 14-run inning?
I watched that inning, and I will say that number actually kind of feels heavy because they were swinging on first pitches. They were hitting everything. Like, it was a crazy watch. 34 minutes. Wow. So It's a 30-second clock, so you're saying what? Basically 5 pitches per run?
I mean,
So-
I don't
something
know.
like that.
I'm not smart enough to do that math. I'm just not. All I know is I thought, how long did it take? I would have guessed 45 minutes because there's a pitching change in there too, right?
Yes, there was.
Right. So that pitching change takes 2.5 to 4 minutes. Right. By the time he gets in, they start the clock on him and his warm up clock, and you got to walk in. I'm sure he didn't sprint in from the dugout down at that point 10-1
With runners on.
with runners on base. How many pitchers did they go through yesterday?
Can I talk about how great the bullpen was, though?
So
After
that,
after Molina?
you mean after Molina? Yeah, because they got 2, 4, 5 and a third innings, and they didn't give up a run. All right, there you go. Attaboy, Bud Black. There you go. That's what Bud Black says. Hey,
That's managing.
the bullpen was good yesterday,
Bullpen
boys. Just one. We got 161 left. Bullpen. Attaboy on the bullpen. Beeks and Vodnik and Mears. Great job out of the pen. Let's go get them tomorrow, boys.
That's
Where are we going for dinner?
That's
And who's got reservations at Maestro City Hall?
5 1/3 innings of work, 0 runs, 2 hits.
Yeah.
Fantastic job.
Terrific work. I agree with you, buddy Black. Like
Love it.
I'm with you. I
That's-
appreciate your post game.
Maybe I sit down and be like, how about that bullpen, guys? See
No.
that work?
What do you do? like I want to talk to Pedro Lopez about that last night. So what do you say? Is that the message after the game like that? Is the message, holy crap, boys, we got our asses kicked. Who can we bring up from Albuquerque? Right? Or is it, attaboy, all right, it's just one bad inning. One bad inning is not going to kill our season, boys. Hey, we got 161 left. Bullpen was great. Let's go get him. Who's up next? The kid you got from Cleveland? Quantrill or something? Is that who's pitching today?
Yeah.
Man, that's got to be a tough conversation.
I mean, opening night, you're all ready to go. You got to watch them raise their damn banner anyway. You're playing the home and defending that. And by the way, Arizona wasn't, at this time last year, you're like, whatever, Arizona? Like, none of you thought anything about Arizona, not even through the, like, okay, they got into play. You didn't even think about them until, holy smokes, they're in the National League Championship Series. They may get to the World, holy bleep, they're in the World Series. You didn't think about Arizona until then. You couldn't name me 3 of them. No, honestly.
Beauty of baseball's postseason.
And they beat you 16-1, 14 up in the third. Third inning of the season, we get hit with a 14 spot.
Rockies just signed Ezekiel Tovar, their shortstop, to an extension coming into the season. Like, hey, there's some young guys
He
around
went 0
the
for
corner.
4, by the way.
And you look at that lineup, you're like, what are you excited for? Charlie Blackman's still your leadoff hitter.
He's still your leadoff hitter. You got Chris Bryant, at least for today.
That is a mistake.
Brandon Rogers, Ryan McMahon. I goodness. I mean, it's just one game out of 161. I don't want to lose my mind. But it does. It feels like you're 7 games out already.
Of those 14 runs, how many came from home runs?
None.
Isn't that
They didn't hit a
wild?
home run in the inning.
Yeah, that is just amazing.
They just cut you. Little paper cut.
And it was just up
Bleeder.
the middle,
Yeah.
bleeder, single. It was amazing.
None. All earned, by the way. No errors. Hey, all right, boys, we didn't make an error. Good job on the defense. Skip, we gave up 16 runs.
So the Rockies, they give up 2 runs in the bottom of the first, come back, have a clean second inning. You're like, all right, we're in this game, scored a run in the
2-1.
2-1 and going into the third, and then
Where's Drew Goodman on this? All right, Rockies coming. Arizona coming up. Rockies trailing just 2-1. Leading off will be Ketel Marte for the Diamondbacks. Base hit, double, base hit,
well,
base
single
hit, base
infield,
hit,
single
base-
walk, single to left, double to center, single to center, single to center, fly out, finally.
Ooh.
Double, single,
When do we make
walk.
a pitching change at this point? When does Freeland come out?
After it was
It's 10-1.
8.
Oh, yeah, because he had runners on base. So it was only 8-1. But he got charged with those guys.
Molina comes in, single walk, single double, sack fly,
Whatever
single,
song they
go
play.
to Beeks.
Whatever song you play when they score a run, you like at Isopes Park, it's Old Casey and the Sunshine Band. That's the way. I mean, are you just like, enough?
gosh.
Like, there used to be the country song, I Want More. They used to play, but yeah, they play this Casey and the Sunshine Band. That's the way. I mean, enough.
14 times in one inning.
Do a little dance. Dude, give me another Casey Sunshine Band song. Give me something like at some point.
They just start playing random songs at
Really?
that point.
Yeah. love anything. Give me something. All right, 505. I know it's one game. It's what I do. I want to talk to Pedro Lopez. All right, if that's you opening night, your Buddy Black. What do you say? Well, boys, we got another one tomorrow. We got 161 of these. Or are you just going, holy smokes? Who's hiring? Are they hiring at the radio station? Right? I mean, honestly, if it was game 3, you almost feel that you threw your ace. You're coming out of spring training. All the pump of opening day. I get it. It was on the road. It doesn't matter. Because if it was at Coors Field, it was Coors Field and Flayed. No, it was in the desert. It was under sea level. So balls were flying out.
Hitter's park.
Yeah, one flying out of the park. Everything, all these, and you get beat 16-1 on opening night. All right, you're 7 games back. I've been really not, but I mean, might as well be. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. I don't know why I keep giving that number. Who's paying toll? If you're paying toll, will you let me know? I mean, use the number. I'm just kind of curious, and you're welcome. But yeah, it's crazy. All right, when we come back, I want to get into a little bit more of what happened last night, and we got to talk about Draymond Green and his ability to be unavailable and what it means to that team. And did you see Steph Curry's reaction when Draymond got thrown out again in the first quarter? It's like giving up 14 in the third. Literally, I mean, it's the basketball equivalent. Windy season in New Mexico, so it's going to get windy this weekend. How's that impacting those of you who wear contacts or glasses? Right, the dust gets you're miserable. You know, at high altitude, contacts don't work as effectively. Listen, since 1998, Dr. Stephen Coleman at Coleman Vision has been working wonders for thousands of people who are tired of struggling with contacts and glasses. LASIK is the answer. I got LASIK at Dr. Coleman, from Dr. Coleman at Coleman Vision over 20 years ago. One of the best things I've ever done. It changed my life. I had a high degree of astigmatism. That's why I went to see him. Look, the technology he uses is cutting edge. Dr. Stephen Coleman played a significant role in developing and testing that current technology. And it's used not only here in New Mexico, but around the world. Its technology originated right here at Sandia Labs. And for years, patients have come from all over the country to have LASIK done at Coleman Vision. They know Dr. Coleman's the best, and that's why they go there. That's why I did. You're going to hear stories. You've been hearing stories. Look, they're all true. It changed my life. It can change yours as well. The procedure's quick, and Dr. Coleman will let you watch him do it on another one of his patients just to give you the confidence that you need. Call and see if you're a candidate. The number is 505-821-8880. 505-821-8880. Everything's online at colemanvision.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
you back your love.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Last night in the NCAA tournament, the round of 16, Clemson, yes, that Clemson, beat Arizona 77-72. The Clemson Tigers advance to the Elite Eight, where they will play Alabama. Alabama beat North Carolina, so you had a 1 and 2 twos go down yesterday. The one was North Carolina. They lose to Alabama 89-87 in an insanely entertaining game. Grant Nelson, a transfer from North Dakota or whatever, 24-12 for Alabama. And then on the other side, UConn hammered San Diego State 82-52. And Illinois, and this was entertaining as well, the 3 seed beat the 2 seed. Illinois beats Iowa State 72-69. It was good entertainment. That Clemson team that beat the Lobos obviously now is really, really good. All right. This is getting more and more. Look, anytime Draymond Green does something, what's he doing a commercial for? Is it AT&T?
It's a pretty darn good commercial.
Where he talks about the choices. Sometimes you make good choices, and then you make a bad one, and then you make one, and then you're like, "What, Draymond? Why did?" It's actually really good. I don't know if it's helping me want to go buy. Is it AT&T? Is that what it is?
Yeah, one of those.
I don't know if it's making me want to go buy his or choose his phone plan. But I agree with you. It is pretty funny. But it's not funny what he did. I don't know why he went off the other night. And this was JJ early in a game. This was first quarter, and he got ejected. They were playing Orlando. Did they lose that game? I don't even know if they won or lost the game. It doesn't matter to me. He went on his podcast, which is called the Draymond Green Show.
They went on to win.
They did win that game? I thought they did. And they needed to. He said, and look, this was 4 minutes into a game. I don't know what he was so fired up about. This is 4 minutes into a game, and they did win. He got double teed and thrown out, and the body language from Steph Curry and the rest of that team afterwards was like, "What are we doing?" And I've been listening to criticism that it's Steph Curry's fault, that it's Steve Kerr's fault, that it's everybody's fault but Draymond's. And I'll give you my thoughts on it. But he said, quote, "This is Draymond now. It just can't happen. I said what I said. I deserve to be kicked out at that point. If I'm all the way honest with y'all, kind of was trying to turn my body and angle it to go to the bench, but I said what I said a little too soon before angling my body. But yeah, it just can't happen," end quote. He was arguing with the official. The official's name is Ray Acosta. He got his first personal foul. And a few plays later, Steph Curry was called for a shooting foul, and Draymond went up to the same official and started yelling at him, and he got a technical foul, and he didn't stop, and he got another technical foul. This was 8:24 left in the first quarter. It was his fourth ejection of the season, second in the first quarter. He's the first player to be ejected at least 4 times in a season since Kevin Durant in 2017-18. 19th regular season ejection. If you're looking for records, he's coming up on that. Rasheed Wallace had 25. JJ, first of all, it's great that you say it can't happen, but here's the bottom line. It can't happen. At what point
this
are you
is who he is. You've rode Draymond Green this long, you're going to ride it out. And there's no changing it. There's no expecting Draymond Green to act different on the basketball court. This is who he is as a player. This is his personality on the floor. And there's going to be moments where Draymond Green hurts you. But even now, that team is still better with Draymond Green on the floor.
Yeah.
And so you can't change anything. There's 10 games left in the regular season?
And you're barely hanging on to the last spot in the play-in tournament.
This is your life as an organization, and you deal with it. And you got to listen to him spout his BS about, "Oh, this can't happen, that can't." No, it's going to happen because it's who you've been your entire career. It's not changing.
It's not going to change. He said, quote, "I'm not going to overreact like, oh, man. Stuff is never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. I know where I am. I understand what I'm doing moving forward. And my position is just make sure that's the exception and not the rule," end quote. The exception can't keep happening, though. It can't happen 19
I think Steph
times.
Curry's reaction said a whole lot.
Don't you?
Of
just shoulders slumped, looking down, like someone stole his dog.
They know what Draymond does, but I think in that moment you saw Steph Curry go, "Man, this isn't the 17th game of the season in Orlando. There's 10, 11 games left. We're fighting for a play-in spot." You can't just hold on to it, but no, he can't.
The crew chief that night was Mitchell Irvin, and he was asked after the game did Draymond's past history play any part in him getting ejected. And Irvin said the second technical was issued after a prolonged diatribe. Green directed egregious, profane vanguard. That's a great way to say it. Egregious, profane vanguard towards a game official. And that his history absolutely did not have an impact on the decision to hand out the second technical foul. I love the way that's... Never mind the content. I like the way it's said. Egregious, profane vanguard. All right, I've been listening to people tell me this is on Steph. He's liable. He's the one who has enabled him. Steve Kerr has enabled them. The Warriors, and I'll put it on the organization, in some regard, have they enabled him? Yeah, they rewarded him with another $100+ million contract, knowing what he is and who he is, because what he does basketball-wise is very valuable. He defends, he passes, he's physical, he's an unselfish basketball player, correct? A very, very good, unselfish basketball player.
It's so easy now to play that game, which I think is ridiculous.
Which game? The blame game and put it on everybody else but him?
Steph Curry needs to step up. Like, what the Warriors have done with Draymond Green, they would do it 100 times over.
You mean to win 4 titles?
Yes.
Yeah.
And to have these moments of frustration, you take it in a heartbeat. Like that, they can sit there and I think the Warriors themselves, like, yeah, they were frustrated in the moment. They wouldn't change a darn thing about Draymond Green.
Well, I think they would change the fact that he keeps getting thrown out. I think it would be, dude, calm the bleep down. It's 10, to your point. There's 10 games left in the season, and we're on the cusp of not even getting in the play-in tournament. I think they would change that. But as far as what he's brought over the years, no, man. They got 4 titles, and he's a large part of that.
So to me, it's hard to sit here and go down that road of, oh, the Warriors enabled him, and how could you do that? Because that team was one of the most dominant teams we've ever seen.
Well, what do you want Steph Curry to do? I mean, honestly, and Steph Curry's the leader of that team. Draymond Green does not get this contract extension if Steph Curry didn't sign on. Do we believe that?
Absolutely.
All right.
Part of the conversation.
And that's your guy, and you take care of your guy. Now, can you enable your guy? If I don't know, man. If I was out of control and you saw it happening, and whatever my advice might have been, and you didn't step in and say something, would you be liable? I don't know, or vice versa. Look, Steph Curry's the leader of that team. Him and Steve Kerr, whatever they say is going to happen. And they both signed on for more Draymond Green. They know what they were getting. Does that enable it? How did you want to reel him in? You're not changing the core of a grown-ass man at that point, right? You can reel him in. You guys, this is the last time we're going to have this conversation about Draymond Green. Draymond Green's going to do, if they get into the playoffs, there's going to be a moment in the playoffs, Draymond Green's going to hit somebody in the junk, right? Do you think I'm wrong?
Nope.
Or he's going to yell at an official, he's going to get thrown out in the first quarter, and we're going to have this conversation. Like, we're not done with this. And yet, let me ask you this. Do you guys like Draymond Green? How do you feel about Draymond Green? I don't hate Draymond Green. There's guys that in the past I would go, God, I just so don't like watching that guy play or whatever. That I like watching him play, and I think there's a value, and he's brought an edge to that team probably needed.
Absolutely, and that's why the whole enabling and it's gone too far. It's won them championships. They've been a competitive team. He's been a key factor in that of what they've done. Yeah, it's the Splash Brothers, but Draymond Green was the guy that could guard 1 through 5. That was doing different things for them defensively. As you said, brought that edge to the squad, so they can be frustrated, and it can be a moment of where you see Steph in that game just going, how can this happen right now? But just overall,
how'd you feel in with the Bad Boy Pistons about Rasheed Wallace? How did you feel about the Cavaliers when they were winning about J.R. Smith? How did you how do you feel about Dennis Rodman? Is this not comparable?
I think J.R. Smith is just kind of more out there as opposed to
this is kind of out there sometimes, dude.
Kicking people in the junk.
No, I get it. I get it, but this guy, he's hitting people in the junk.
Just might have forgot time and score.
You don't think it's comparable?
The NBA Finals. Not J.R. Smith.
Okay. Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah.
Go through Bruce Bowen with the Spurs, right? There's always kind of this kind of character on these borderline dynastic, and they're not borderline teams, right?
Yeah.
Just saying. 505-246-0610. You can get in on it. I know there's Warrior fans out there, and here we are. We're 10 games away from the end of the season. We're about ready to go in the playoffs, and they need this dude. When we come back, who's today's dark horse quarterback in the draft? Yesterday, we were talking about J.J. McCarthy. Well, maybe there's another dark horse. Pick a day, pick a dude, and somebody else is rising on the draft board. We'll get into that when we come back, and who's the latest. Flavor of the day. Hey, IPS protects my home, International Protective Service. They do amazing things. They heard you when you asked for help in protecting homes in Albuquerque and Santa Fe. But literally, they've taken security to a whole new level. For 18 years, IPS has offered standing guards and 24-hour patrols to protect homes and businesses in Albuquerque, and now recently launched in Santa Fe. But IPS Global Aviation is using a fleet of drones with high-definition cameras and analytics software to exceed your security expectations. So with drones, IPS can monitor your next event, or they can track emergency response. They'll follow criminal activity that you can't see as well from the ground. They do it with the drones. The drones include thermal imaging, so IPS can help with eyes in the sky during the wildfire season. This is pretty amazing stuff. It's unmatched ability to watch from the air. On the ground, IPS continues to use highly trained armed officers to watch your home or your business, and that means so much to you. I've used them for years, and gives my family peace of mind. They also install cameras and monitor them around the clock to deter criminal activity around your property, and even offer personal bodyguards if there's a threat to your personal safety. Security issue, IPS has you covered. Call them at 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque better and safer to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got...
Well, yesterday was J.J. McCarthy climbing up the board, the draft board. Now it is Washington, or former Washington quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. He flashed quite the athleticism yesterday. It was pro day in Seattle at the University of Washington yesterday. He ran right around a 4.5. There was a hand time. He ran the 40 yesterday. 4.53 is really good. He posted a 36.5-inch vertical, which is really good. And again, like it's the total underwear Olympics, right? 10-foot, 5-inch broad jump. He said, I was only running one time to show I could run, and that's it. I was done. That's what he told the Seattle Times. 2 years at Washington. He was really good. 67 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. Is he now today's darling, or where are we?
Well, I think it was big because the question with Penix is the injuries he suffered.
And he did when he was at Indiana. He had,
but to see him move like that, the athleticism, the arm talent is there if you've watched any games of Michael Penix. And if he's a guy that I don't think is going to get pushed up, because right now it really feels like the top four with Caleb Williams.
Do you think J.J. McCarthy's that?
Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, and Drake May. Like, there's a legit chance that those guys, four of those guys could go in the top five.
And it is amazing who you listen to the order of 2, 3, and 4. Yes. Caleb Williams, it feels like he is the solid number one, like an Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence kind of a number one, right? But it depends who you listen to. Who's number two? Is it Daniels? Is it May? Is it now McCarthy? There's going to be one of these guys later. And again, I go back to every single draft you've had. There's been a good quarterback that wasn't in the top whatever. And you can tell me Lamar Jackson, you can tell me Brock Purdy, you can tell me Russell Wilson, you can tell me whoever you want. And the odds tell you, half to more than half of these guys are not going to be really good NFL quarterbacks. People love Drake May. People love Drake May. You guys, what are you sitting, 12th, Broncos? Do you need to move up to get a quarterback, you think? Or would you be good with Penix? Or where's Bo Nix now? Would you be good with Penix at 12?
Yeah, it's one that I think Penix could even fall a little bit further than that, and I'd be comfortable taking that opportunity. Because I think there's upside there for Penix. I think there's some upside there for Bo Nix. They're not guys that you have to sell the farm for to get. And that's why I think Nix and Penix are super intriguing the rest of the way for teams outside the top 10.
I do too. I want to continue this conversation. Who might be interested? With whom has he spoken? This is Michael Penix. And I want to get into the little bit on the Bo Nix thing, who's kind of fallen off the radar. And a guy falls off the radar like that, I get a good feel. I always tend to go the other way. I'm going to get into we'll talk more about the Final Four. Your thoughts on San Diego State getting run last night. Clemson. 505-246-0610. DC's question, this is on the text line. The Roadrunner Coyote cartoon was set in Big Bend National Park in Southwest Texas. Ask and you shall receive. Dude, everybody listens to this damn show. I mean, everything you say gets repeated back to you. You know that? I think you've learned that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. You say something and they can answer before I can Google
No doubt. It's the opening drive. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
or surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Of us. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Open day here in Albuquerque. We'll talk with Pedro Lopez, the Ice Soaps manager, coming up at 9:30. Kenny Thomas due to be with us at 9 o'clock. We'll kick it with him, talk about the hoops, both the NBA and the NCAA tournament opening drive. Good morning to you. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and DC. Last night, Sweet 16 action here on The Sports Animal. Clemson beat Arizona 77-72. Yes, that Clemson. The Clemson that beat New Mexico in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They are now in the Elite Eight, where they will play Alabama, 89-87 winners over North Carolina last night. Yes, Clemson and Alabama. So you can watch Nick Saban against Dabo Swinney in the Elite Eight. Connecticut, UConn pounded San Diego State 82-52. 30-point victory for top-seeded UConn. They will play Illinois, the Big Ten champions, beat Iowa State, the champions of the Big 12 tournament, 72-69. So it'll be UConn and Illinois in the next round of the NCAA tournament. All right, I got a bunch of emails coming in, Jeff, at sportsanimalabq.com. You can send them to JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. You're on the text line as well, 505-246-0610. That's where you can call as well. There's no Warrior dynasty without Draymond. Eventually, the act gets old and people move on, but he is who he is at this point. I think that's right. All of that's right. He was a big part of that dynasty. He was a really good player. He still is a good player. His act probably is getting old for a lot of people. And you're not going to change, dude. I mean, that's the bottom line. So, this one says the Rockies should play the KC in the Sunshine Band tune. It's the same old song. Different song, and that's the way I like it. They got beat 16-1 last night. Gave up 14 runs in the third inning. A major league record for runs in a single inning on opening day. So there's 7. JJ joked yesterday that they're already 7 games out. I'm like, come on, man.
I wasn't joking.
And I know you were. I thought you were. I thought you were joking. So you're 7 games out with just 1 game in.
You saw the script. Damn. It's privy to the information.
I mean, damn, dude. Yeah. All right. We're talking about quarterbacks. We're on the Michael Penix stuff, and is he rising? He had his pro day up in Seattle yesterday at the University of Washington. Afterwards, and it was a pretty good one by all accounts. He was seen talking with the Giants head coach, Brian Daboll, and their general manager, Joe Sheehan. He had pre-draft visits with the Giants and the Falcons and the Raiders and the Broncos and the Steelers. That's all starts next week. By the way, his best receiver, Washington's best receiver, Rome Odunze, did not work out Thursday. He opted instead to basically stand on his performance at the Combine. And he will be one of the top 3, right, receivers in the draft. Yeah. He's terrific.
Yeah, the receiver class at the top is very good.
So I think the turning point in this draft is what happens at 2. What does Washington do? And Brian Kelly, who is the head coach at LSU, there were 2 words that he threw into a comment as he was promoting Jaden Daniels, his Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. And he said, quote, Daniels is committed, or is going to be so committed to taking care of himself that you're not going to have to worry about size or if he doesn't weigh enough. Lamar has done a pretty good job with his size. Mahomes, I wouldn't consider him a giant because Daniels is going to get the ball out to the playmakers, make plays for Washington. End quote. For Washington. For their family. For Washington. Now, did he throw that in there just assuming that they're the number 2 pick and he's going to go number 2, or does he know something? And that, look, everybody's always looking to read something into something. It's what we do. You talk about the damn draft. The Super Bowl ends February, and you got 2.5 months just to talk about the draft. And so I vomit sometimes listening to some of the stuff. And this is one of those where I'm like, man, I almost feel like this is a guy who doesn't know anything that just threw something in there. That's where I come from. What did you guys hear? Something different?
I think he's just pumping up his guy. It's a lot like we saw with Harbaugh and J.J. McCarthy, but now the fascinating thing is Harbaugh could actually draft his quarterback if he wanted to, as opposed to just hyping him up, which is crazy. This is more, I think, just Brian Kelly trying to reinforce that. Everyone knows Caleb Williams is going number 1 overall. He's going to be the number 1 pick, the USC quarterback to Chicago. So he's trying to make sure that his guy, the Heisman Trophy winner, who should be the number 2 quarterback selected, is the second quarterback.
So you think it should be?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what Brian Kelly. What did you hear?
I read that, and I heard some people talking about it, and I'm at the point where I feel like anytime the college coach says something, it feels like a smokescreen. He's trying to get his guy drafted. Like JJ said, I mean, he's pumping up his guy, helps his program, but right now, I don't think I believe anything about the quarterbacks because it just everything seems up in the air.
So you're kind of like me, yeah, whatever, right? Like I literally. Yeah. Everybody wants to tell me what was meant, and there's different interpretations. And I don't even think Washington knows right now what they want to do with 2. I honestly don't. And you could tell me they want to pick Jaden Daniels. You might be right. You really, really might be right. You could be just as right if you told me they want to take Drake May, and you could be just as right if you told me they wanted to trade it to Atlanta or whoever. You could be just as right if you told me that they want to trade it to the Chargers for Justin Herbert, which, by the way, is their best option, if it's really an option. I mean, if they could get, the 5th overall pick and Justin Herbert and give that up, I'm calling them all the time. Jim, ready to go? 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 Want to do it? 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 Got to wear them out.
You do. You gotta make the calls. Let them know you're interested.
So I don't think they know, let alone there's Brian Kelly, know what they're going to do with their family. And JJ, I think you're right. I think it's a college coach hyping up his guy, which I have honestly no problem with.
And it's not crazy hype because I do think that Jaden Daniels should be the second quarterback off the board. It's proven that in the NFL, like the whole guy's an athlete and he's just running quarterback. Like it's fine. Like the dude can make every throw. His arm is fantastic. Yeah, it brings a level of athleticism. And it's about how you build an offense around that guy. It's on the coaching staff when you have players of that caliber. It's a Justin Fields conversation. It's how do you mold that talent into something? And you wrap your head around it early. And you're right. Washington, I don't think they're 100% decided because they're still going through the personal meetings one-on-one with these guys. And that you could fall in love with Drake May or J.J. McCarthy. All it takes is the owner to be present in one meeting going,
that guy's
blow me away.
Oh,
there you
that's
go.
my guy. Yeah. I'm not as convinced as you are that he's the clear-cut number 2. I think I lean towards him as being the second best quarterback. I think I do. I'm not as convinced as you are that he's better than Drake May. I like me some Drake May. I haven't seen enough. Jaden Daniels seems like he does everything. He seems like a modern NFL quarterback.
He's the one guy recently that, and even more so than Justin Fields. Like, Justin Fields wasn't this guy in college. Like, Justin Fields he could just sit back and throw his receivers open at Ohio State. Like, this is the first Lamar Jackson comparison.
Yeah. And that's what's interesting to me. We talk about what he was and was not in college. That's where I keep going back and leaning on what J.J. McCarthy was not. And I'm listening to a guy hype him up that didn't use him the way he's going to be. I'm listening to Harbaugh talk about him so glowingly, and I it's hard for me to doubt that guy. But then why didn't you use him that way? And I guess the answer is we didn't have to, right? We had Blake Corum. We didn't have to. We were kicking everybody's ass. Like, honestly. I mean, what did you want me to have him throw more when we were beating Colorado State by 45? Or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Or beating Indiana by 35? Should we have beaten them by 45 and had them throw a few more touchdown passes?
And with this quarterback class, too, and you look at it, the top 2 passers in college football last season were Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why this first round is so fascinating.
And those were more pro-style offenses that they ran the Pac-12, right?
Yeah. A little more spread out.
And that's why...
Well, I don't... Harbaugh's pro-style offense.
Yeah, but he didn't use him to that point. He is.
He's still kind of that back in old school.
Yeah.
Under center and the football off.
Yeah, more so than certainly Jaden Daniels was. But that's why I love the 2 Pac-12 guys. I think that there's value in both of those guys late first round or second round or wherever they're going to go. I think there's something to Bo Nix. I do. I know a lot of people don't. I love what I saw to Michael Penix. Well, Jeff, did you see him in the championship game? Yeah, they didn't win, man. Did you see all the other stuff he did? But I'm not sitting in the meeting with these guys, and I'm literally not breaking down the tape.
And so I just went over some of the pre-draft starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And right now, 19 starters in the NFL are first-round picks. So there's a reason we hype up the quarterbacks and talk about them. And you can't just fall back on, well, maybe you'll find this guy in the 4th round. Like, there's a reason you overanalyze these guys and you take them if
I want to take you one step further. Okay? Top 10 picks overall. Because Aaron Rodgers was the first-round pick, but not top 10. Lamar Jackson was a first-round pick, not top 10. Where'd Deshaun Watson go?
Well, Patrick Mahomes was 10th.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson was 12th.
Okay, so he's out of the top 10 to me. Who's the Steelers quarterback? Russell Wilson. He was not top 10.
His 3rd-round pick.
Yeah. Texans was, Colts was, Jaguars was. Who's the Tennessee Titans quarterback today? He was not. He was 2nd round, right? Who's the Broncos quarterback? Certainly not. Mahomes was 10th, so he was.
So if you're going in the top 10, there's 13 of those 19.
Is it 13? Okay.
And you could add
Geno Smith was, right?
4 to that list. Geno Smith was what?
Where was he taken?
It's like a 2nd round, 3rd round pick.
Who's Kyler Murray?
Geno Smith was the 39th pick overall.
Okay.
In the 2nd round.
Yeah, that's good work by you. It's a crapshoot. And how many of those teams took a shot on a first-round guy and missed, right? I mean, New England did. The Jets did. Cleveland sure as hell did, right? Indy did at some point.
Yeah, and some of these first-round picks are starting quarterbacks for other teams now.
Yep.
Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, no, those guys were top picks. They were number 1 overall picks. Now, that's kind of crazy. Where was Justin or Jalen Hurts taken?
Hurts was the 53rd overall pick.
So in that division, you've got Dak Prescott, who was in the 3rd round.
Prescott was 4th.
4th round. Jalen Hurts, who was in the what round?
2nd round.
2nd round. And the Commanders are going to get a new quarterback.
The Commanders will be starting up top.
And then Daniel Jones was number 2 or 3 overall.
He was a 6th pick.
6th pick. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, 505-246-0610. Come on in today. 505-246-0610. I'll get you some of your correspondence next. What are your thoughts on what you saw in the hoops last night? San Diego State getting handled. And Clemson. You feel better now? I mean, not better, but you know what I mean? Like does it soften the blow a little bit watching Clemson beat people and get to the Elite Eight. That Clemson, I know everybody picked the Lobos and they were favored against Clemson, but is that the right way to say it? Soften the blow?
Well, it sure did allow Lobo fans to put a spin on it last night.
I want to hear that next when we come back on the opening drive. Hey, it's springtime and it's tax time, and it's also cleaning time. You're cleaning everything. Clean your vehicle. What are you going to do with your refund? Can I suggest maybe using a little bit of it and protecting one of your largest investments, your vehicle? Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Have them meet you at your convenience. That means where it works for you and when it works for you, and they'll detail your vehicle. Inside, outside, under the hood, around the rims, under the seats. It's that new car feel. Remember when you got your vehicle off the lot, it smelled and looked, it just felt beautiful and clean? That's what the car dealerships do. They detail their vehicles, and you can have that done. You can have that new car feel without getting a new car. Awarded best in the city because they make sure to leave your car looking and feeling and smelling like it's new. They also have window tinting services, which will help you prep for that summer heat, which is coming quickly. Make the move today. Visit otsdetailing.com. Schedule right there online. You can book and buy right there online at otsdetailing.com.
This report is sponsored by eBay.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican.
I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot! Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight.
Is what Steve Kerr, the Warriors coach, called Draymond Green getting ejected in the first quarter the other day. And he said, I think Steph Curry wishes he would, regrets not pulling him away. I mean, how much do you blame Steph Curry and Steve Kerr for it? And how much is on Draymond? I mean, Draymond's a grown-ass man, right? At some point, you got to take responsibility for yourself. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. We're here for you at 505-246-0610. Clemson to the Elite Eight soften the blow for UNM fan, question mark? They can ask Aggie fan in 2010 and 2019 when Michigan State and Auburn beat them in the first round. Stupidest spin ever. UNM lost by 21. They were not ever in that game. All right, I'm stupid as hell. I'll buy that. Is it the stupidest? I've said stupider things than that, haven't I?
Yeah.
I've said dumber things. Is that the I'm not spinning. I asked you a question. Does it soften the blow? I'm not telling you I think it does. Does it make you feel
Dare you share an opinion on a talk show? Get out of here with that nonsense.
Stupid. Wow. Tim, I've said some dumb stuff. I'm setting records. I'm like the Diamondbacks going 14 in the third today. Stupidest one ever. I feel good. I'm going to throw you dumber stuff today. How about that?
Yeah, I'm not usually on board of like feeling better about a loss, like you lost that game. And maybe it can be a reminder of, it was a good team, but it doesn't make a loss feel better as a fan.
Yeah. Let me tell you why it's not stupidest spin ever, by the way. I had two Lobo fans hit me. One called me, one texted me last night. One of them was a frequent contributor on the show. Basically saying, damn, Clemson's really good. I guess we lost to a good team. I mean, okay. I'm paraphrasing two things, okay, from two different Lobo fans. And that's why I said, does it make? I think those two fans.
Well, I don't think it makes you feel better. I think it goes, well, were we really that any good?
Well, again, I didn't say feel better. I said, does it soften the blow? Realizing, damn, we got beat by a team that's in the Elite Eight and one went away from the Final Four. And, it's not like we lost to Florida Gulf Coast or, Furman. Or.
Yeah, not all
losses
like
Kentucky losing to Oakland,
equally.
Right? That's all I'm saying. Does it feel better is not the right way to put it. Does it soften the blow? Is that the stupidest take ever? Dude, I'll guess. Stupidest spin ever. I'll give you dumber stuff than that. I got way stupider.
We got more
stuff.
lined up.
I got
don't
way
you worry.
I got way stupider stuff than that. I mean, that's not my best one. I mean, come on, man. Give me more credit than that. I got stupider stuff than that.
I think what you're talking about when it comes to NCAA tournament games is it wasn't Kentucky losing Oakland type of deal. Okay. Like that hits different, but when you look at Clemson advancing how good they were, not many people saw this coming.
Do you look at it differently? Is that a better way to phrase it? Do you look at it differently?
I think you look at it and go, man, they were good because it was hard to the way Clemson ended the season.
Yeah.
No one saw this coming.
Let me ask you this: at
the Cinderella, quote unquote Cinderella teams, it was New Mexico, and they're going on the run, and they were 11.
New Mexico's going to be in the Final Four,
and then you're not even in that game, and even with Clemson where they're at, it also you can kind of go back and go, man, well, what happened? Like, are we not that good? Was the Mountain West overrated? I think it even adds to that conversation.
Well, here's this: Lobo Hobo says Lobo fans went crazy, Jeffy. When Lobo fans really jumped the shark was when CSU mauled Virginia. They were like, and Virginia beat Clemson. We're going to destroy those guys. It's from Lobo Hobo. Yeah, that was part of it. And then you were favored, and then everybody in America was picking New Mexico and how good they were. Yeah, and they're on a roll. Yeah.
Well, this is an interesting way to look at it. And I was watching the guys on CBS Sports Network last night after the games, and they were talking about it was Wally Zerbiak, and he made a nice comment. He said, "I really enjoyed watching the Mountain West Conference this year." He didn't feel like after the fact that they shouldn't have got these teams in, and they pointed out that yes, the seeding and the betting lines are different things, but they also pointed out that the teams that were the better seed won their games. And
Which
then they
was
split.
San Diego State and Utah State.
Yeah.
When they were wearing white shirts, they won. When they were wearing dark shirts, they lost.
And then they split in the 2 first round games.
Yeah.
As 10 seeds.
I got one for you. This may piss people off. I'm not looking to do that, but I was thinking of this last night. So UConn is won, what was it, 6 last year and now 3. So they've won 9 straight NCAA tournament games, right? Who was the last team to beat Connecticut in the NCAA tournament? I know you know it. I see your face back there. You're, What if I said New Mexico State? I'm not looking to piss you. I was just thinking about it last night. Isn't that crazy? That was when and then who they lost to Arkansas, right? And Musselman, is that right? In Janus's last game, they beat UConn, first round NCAA tournament, and then played a good game, lost a tight one to Arkansas, and then Janus got the job at Mississippi State. But yeah, I'm quite certain that's the truth. All right, how presaged was this? Says Ken. OD callers are the best. They deserve to be in the Elite Eight. Who said getting knocked out of their conference tournament on Wednesday was a blessing in disguise for Clemson? It gave the Tigers, who were tired and beat up down the stretch, extra time to rest and get healthy. Look, I don't know if there's something to that. UConn played and went all the way through their conference tournament. Illinois went all the way through their conference tournament, and they're still playing, right?
You spin it by whatever happens in your next game.
Yeah. I just... Dan says Mountain West Conference flames out. Jeffrey, Juan, Jose, and Damian Caleb. It's a new one. We need to have an OD show devoted to the talking heads on Selection Sunday who all had the same hot take. This was the year of the Mountain West Conference. A perfect example of how groupthink by the experts can be dangerous. 2 things can be true. And you just hit it on Wally Zerbiak. Mountain West was good this year. They're not going to be in the Elite Eight. Mountain West had one of their best years ever. They are one of the top, I do believe they were better than the Pac-12, don't you? Better leagues this year were the Big 10, the Big 12, probably the ACC, and the SEC. Those teams are represented. The Big East is represented as well. Were they better top to bottom than the Big East? I don't know. UConn was the top, and they're really damn good. The top 3 teams in the Big East were probably better than the top 3 teams in the Mountain West, right? Connecticut, Marquette, and Creighton. Although it feels like everybody in the Mountain West beat Creighton. Bottom of the league? Middle of the league? But the Mountain West got 6 in. It was a good year, Dan. It was a good year for the Mountain West. I don't want to poo-poo it. It was growth. Did they peak? Is this their ceiling? It might be.
Yeah,
it might be.
6 is.
Yeah, it might be. All right,
watermark.
Kenny's going to be here. We'll talk with Kenny Thomas at 9 o'clock. I want to get into the NBA stuff with him. His thoughts on what's going on in the NCAA tournament. 9:30. 9:30. It's opening day. Pedro Lopez. Want to ask the Isotopes manager what he would do if he was the big league manager, Bud Black, Rockies. What do you say after you get beat 16-1 in your opener and give up 14 runs in 1 inning? What do you tell the club? I got a few thoughts for him. Let me see what he goes. We'll do that at 9:30. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
If New Mexico spring...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times.
Of what, 4 seed in Alabama? As you watch them go, does it not feel better? Did it soften the blow? Do you feel differently now? And I asked the question because my context was I had 2 really rabid Lobo fans hit me last night with the wow, Clemson's really good. I guess I guess that's pretty. Like they felt different. Not good. No, I'm not telling you feel good about it. Do you feel differently about getting beat in the first round by Clemson? That's all.
Some people do, but I got another spin for you, Jeff.
Yeah. Is it stupid?
I think it could make you feel worse.
Okay.
Because that was a team coming in, you're looking at going, they lost to who? They played like that down the stretch, and the Lobos coming in, winning 4 games in Las Vegas, cutting down nets from a conference that's like 6 teams in the NCAA tournament, and you can't even compete with Clemson.
And that could be us right now in the Elite Eight. That could have been us. That
could have been. You can't even be in a game. Like that was never a game. But I think there's that stance to it, where it doesn't soften the blow. It goes, well, how far away are we actually?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening to all of it.
If Clemson is a team that you're going in going, I don't know about them. Yeah, they have a high ceiling, but man, look at how they finished the season, and you couldn't even compete with them.
Fair enough. I'll listen to however. I mean, so I'll rephrase it. Do you feel any differently about losing at Clemson as you've watched them play and get to the Elite Eight? Is that a better way to phrase the question? Better, worse, whatever.
The answer is, I did not realize how
good
they were. Yeah, you can point at a game. Go, they beat North Carolina. Kind of everyone has had one of those games.
Right.
You brought it up all the time. It felt like half the Mountain West beat Creighton.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? Well, this Clemson team is
pretty
just
damn
solid.
good.
And when you finally, it's one thing to look at a season, and none of us watch any Clemson games.
No. I mean, you might have glanced at against North Carolina.
try to look back, read some stories, look at some of the metrics, but just watching them, they are so solid.
They don't hurt themselves. They do a lot of things good. This is on the text line. We were having a conversation earlier about the Flintstones. I told you that way back in the day, I found my daughter's Flintstone stuff. DC, the text line says the Flintstones, Wilma or Betty. Remember the Ginger versus Marianne debate? Wilma or Betty? I don't know, man. I'll get into the Ginger Marianne debate. I'll have that conversation. Do you know what that means? Ginger versus Marianne?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's way back now. That's a Gilligan's Island thing.
That's Nick at Night type stuff.
Yeah, I was Marianne on that. Everybody went Ginger. I was the glamour. I went Marianne on that. Oh, the red. I mean, I don't think there's a bad choice.
There is no bad choice. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
There is something special about that blue dress, though.
Betty's?
Just saying.
The cartoon Betty's blue dress. All right, then. I got an answer. Betty is Marianne, and Wilma is Ginger, right? Cleveland Mike, how you living?
How's it going, guys?
Good, Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing good. And, the first thing I thought when Clemson won last night was that, we just ended up playing one of the hottest teams in the tournament. And I know exactly what you mean. It made me feel better about losing by 20 because that team's just on a run right now. We just happen to be in their way.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. And according to that text I got, might be the stupidest spin ever, but okay, live with it.
No, I know exactly what you mean. It sounds like he doesn't really understand what you're saying, but I thought that, we just happen to play a team that's on a run right now.
And that was the start of their run.
In the way of the buzzsaw.
Yeah, and at that point they weren't on a run. And I know that's what hurt so much. They got bounced out by Boston College in the 11th seed, and so you saw an opportunity. And that started their run because they were not on that run when you played them, but they sure as hell are now.
Yeah, they started the run with us, but they were on a mission, and who knows where they end up,
Yeah.
And it did feel good to see San Diego State go down by 32.
Did it? All right.
I thought so.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. No offense to you, but I'm just, as a Lobo fan, one more thing.
If they're going to
Marianne for sure.
Marianne
for sure.
Yeah.
And my last question for everybody listening, who is your all-time favorite Lobo coach? Because for me, I'm 40 years old. I grew up, in a different time than a lot of people listening, but I hate to say mine was Steve Alford.
Okay.
You guys have a good day.
You don't have to hate to say it.
Happy
Right
Good Friday.
Thanks, Mike. Happy Good Friday. A couple things. The San Diego State thing. So That's an interesting take. Lobo fans, like, it's good to see them get beat by 30. If they're going to get beat, might as well get their ass kicked. Is that kind of the feeling?
No, what Lobo fans, what some I've seen do, is say, well, see, when they finally played a team,
I love it. Okay, tell me that
they got blued out, and so the Lobos were actually better overall than San Diego State, despite San Diego State getting the Sweet 16, because all they had to do was beat UAB and Yale to get there. But when they finally played a team, they got blowed out the belt. So
and
the
you
Lobos
beat them 2 out of 3.
Took 2 out of 3 from the Aztecs this season.
And you cut down nets.
So New Mexico is better than San Diego State.
All right. Yeah. Maybe they were.
Spin doctors.
2 out of 3. They did. You beat them 2 out of 3, and you beat them in the championship game, and you cut down nets. Yeah, that's fine. And I ask you this question a lot, and I don't know that there's a definitive answer. I think I know what it is. Would you rather cut down nets in Vegas or get to the Sweet 16, or get to like they did last year, get to the championship game?
Oh,
what's a better season? Winning a championship in Vegas, winning your league championship, cutting down nets, or getting to the Sweet 16?
It's a Sweet 16. They've never been there. It's the way the tournament's been constructed in this format, this size. At least you had Vegas.
Yeah.
So that's the spin of a first round loss, but at least you got to cut down nets and had an unbelievable week in Las Vegas if you're able to get out there.
Yeah, and like that Lobo fan says, it was good to see them get beat by 30, right? And I think, that's one of those things, well, it would have been good for the league if they won, but if they're going to lose, at least they got their asses kicked. They got theirs. Text line says, what made me nervous before the Clemson game was that all the other 11 seeds won before the Lobos played. Didn't feel good about all 11 seeds winning for the first time ever. The NCAA basketball gods were against us from the beginning. Okay? It's another take on it. We did have the conversation going in, dude, all the 11s won. Are they all going to win? Is this a good thing? And I'm like, it doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't, game by game. But, yeah, with the odds of all of them winning weren't good. But when you're playing one game, it doesn't matter, I don't think.
No.
Right? So, Gopher, Draymond Green equals Jalen House, ? Jeff, you can't stand him if they're the opponent, but you look the other way if he's your guy. Okay. Jalen House. I don't recall him getting thrown out of games, dude. I don't recall him being unavailable to his team because of suspensions in games. He might be
got foul trouble.
Okay, but he wasn't getting thrown out with 8 minutes and 24 seconds to go in the first quarter of games. A, because they didn't play quarters, and B, it didn't happen. Right? I mean, he wasn't getting thrown out of games 4 minutes in. He was available. If you want to tell me you didn't like his antics, is what you're saying, and that's fine. And I'll give you that. If he's your guy, you love him, and if he's not your guy, you don't. I'll actually, I'll concede that. But no, I'm not going to go for. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to say no. I don't think they're similar because whatever Jalen House did, he was available and he played his ass off, and he didn't get A, thrown out of games, and B, suspended. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Silk. Feel plenty good.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road.
Global coach Norm Ellenberger, since we're doing polls today. Mary Ann's like a runaway winner. You know? And then there's others going, what the hell are you talking about? What? My dad used to talk about that back in the day. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, and DC, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Bourne says, Elite Eight common thread. Jeff, it seems every club has good length. Despite the talking heads screaming at us all season, level basketball, the best backcourt in the West, not a single club has 3 undersized guards. Not 3, no. San Diego State had some smaller guards. Trammell just couldn't guard, right? If you watched him play against those big guards last, and he's listed at 5'10", he's not probably, but you know, San Diego State's undersized guards just could not guard. Butler's not huge; he's a really good defender, but yeah, they had that issue as well. 505-246-0610. Let's go, Mike. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Mike.
Hey, good morning in the Albuquerque area. Hey, just real quick. I'll start off with, I think we should be rooting for any of the Mountain West teams to go to the next level. I mean, we can thank San Diego for a nice check. I think they separate that out for a couple years, payments to UNM for them getting the final round and championship. But if they make the next round, they would have been more money for the Mountain West. Correct. So why wouldn't we? Number one. And, you know, I kind of got over rooting against New Mexico State a long time ago. They fly the New Mexico flag. It's still a little hard to swallow, but you know what? I'm rooting for them. And, you know, I'm not trying to tell anyone how to root and who they should or not, but just my point of view is, you know, why not? Why not go for more money for the league every round they make?
I think that's right.
You know, once we get done beating up each other. But, hey, final is House. You know, as that one comment was, or that in that movie, if you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. You know, he wrote that line. He wrote that fine line between, you know, being called for fouls, and I think he taught the officials to be better because they had to look close. He was so quick not to call fouls on a lot of that stuff, and he was clean. But anyways, that's kind of my take this morning.
That's really good. No, I appreciate you, Mike. Thanks. And I think it is the fine line. But to me, the difference between, I mean, I don't think it's a good comparison to say House equals Draymond Green. This House is available. He didn't get over the line. He doesn't get suspended and thrown out of games. He may agitate you, may get under your skin. Then they're not the same to me. You want to tell me, yeah, if they're yours, you love them. If they're against you, you hate them. Okay, I'll listen to that. But to me, there's a big difference. Kicking it with Kenny next. Kenny Thomas, the former Lobo great dude, to be with us on the opening drive. A 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman.
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
So Arizona did their annual pull the chute in the tournament yesterday. 2 seed loses to Clemson, the 6 seed. Purdue tonight? Does Gonzaga get Purdue tonight? I mean, those are the 2 teams, right? Purdue and Arizona that kind of fade in the tournament. We'll see. It's the opening drive. We'll try to catch up with Kenny Thomas here in a minute. 505-246-0610 is where you call us before we hit Kenny. Robert, you've been on hold. I want to get to you before we get to Kenny. Hello. Why won't that button? Literally. We put Robert on the air, please? Because I can't. Hello, Robert. How you living?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Good. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You're up.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? The wins of Clemson's win kind of made me realize, or that the tournament is all matchups. It's just all depends on who you get. Mm-hmm. I think if we were one of the other 11 seeds, we could have advanced the game. Heck, maybe even 2. So year in and year out, I think it's just who you get paired up against and stuff. When you look at a team like let's say like Boise State a few years ago, they had a very good team, and then they just happened to catch a very athletic Memphis team that was just too much for them to overcome with. It's just sometimes just one of those lucky things that you either get a good team. Clemson may have been over or under seeded. They should have been maybe a 4, and maybe we should have been a 10. But who knows when you're going in? It's one of those things where it's just a luck of the draw. So it kind of gives us hope as long as we can keep getting there.
Just keep getting better.
We'll start breaking through.
Let's just keep getting better. I appreciate the call, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let me ask you this, and do you mind dropping that? Thank you. If you were 10. You'd have gotten Florida. And here, I'm going to preface this, and then we'll get to Kenny. JJ, I don't care who you're playing. You're playing a good team. If you were 10, you'd have gotten Florida, or you would have gotten Dayton, or you would have gotten Washington State, or you would have gotten Texas. Texas is athletic. Florida's athletic. Dayton was really good. Who's the other one I told you? Washington State. I mean, could you have beaten any? Yeah, you could have. You're running into good teams everywhere. Everybody's a champion or a really good, really good team. And you got to start beating really good teams. That's all. You beat San Diego State twice this year. You're there. You're on your way. Now you just got to keep getting better, right? We're joined now by former Lobo great, 11-year NBA veteran. It's his segment because his name's on it. It says, "You're kicking it with Kenny Thomas." Hello, Kenny Thomas. How you living?
What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Hey,
I'm good.
We're good. I asked a question, and I was told it might have been my stupidest spin ever, and I said, no, man, I got way stupider stuff than this. But I asked, watching Clemson now get to the Elite Eight, do you feel differently about? I didn't say feel better. I said, does it soften the blow? But do you feel differently about the Lobos losing to Clemson after watching them make this little run?
Well, Clemson, I've always felt like Clemson is a bigger team, right? And when it comes to the perimeter play, as far as shooting from behind the perimeter, they're pretty good at that as well. Seeing them get to the Elite Eight right now, that was a great game yesterday. They seemed like they took control of that game from the beginning, right? When it comes to the Lobos and looking at them playing somebody else, I heard the 4 other teams, like those teams are athletic and long that you were saying, right? And then that wasn't good for the Lobos when it came down to it, as far as like having the opposing team that the Lobos was playing having length in the paint, right? To where it wasn't good. It wasn't a good matchup. But the fact that Clemson I mean, it gotta feel good that Clemson is in the Elite Eight, right? And they beat the Lobos the way they did, and that should tell you that the Lobos were kind of there, but they didn't lose by 30 like San Diego State did. You know
That's right. But they lost the first round and not the third round. But that, I mean, pick whatever you like. We had this conversation earlier. Is it better to cut down nets in Vegas or go to the Sweet 16? And I don't know. Pick your answer. Whatever you think is better.
I think at this point, obviously going to the championship, right, or the Elite Eight or Final Four, or obviously is going to be better. But in school history, UNM's never gotten to the Sweet 16, right? So I feel like the fact that they got there, even though they had to probably win the Mountain West Conference, the way it looked for them to get an 11 seed and still win the Mountain West Conference is different. But I feel like there's a totally different process to a certain extent on how the selection committee is viewing some of these teams anyway.
All right. Since last we spoke, I mean, literally right after we finished with you on Tuesday, it started coming down hard that Richard Pitino was a leading candidate for the Louisville job. We had 2 days worth of packed phones here, and by Wednesday afternoon came down that he was out and it wasn't going. As you listened to all that, went through it, what were your thoughts? And just going through, hey, this guy might get out of here and go to Louisville.
Well, it's been brought up about him leaving, the last year maybe or 2 years, or if something comes up. Obviously, it's something that him and his family has to explore, right? And what's good for them. When it comes to Louisville basketball, I will say this: it's sad because UNM is like a stepping stone for somebody else to come in, maybe not change the program, and Pitino has changed the program over the last couple of years, especially with bringing in Mashburn and you bringing in House, right? That backcourt totally changed the dynamic of how Louisville basketball was moving. And then you bring in JT Toppin, right? But I want to see loyalty, man. I'm not saying that he's not. You got to go out there, but he came back in. I think he said he's loyal to the Lobos, right? I just feel like in order for the community and UNM to build something, a coach got to come and stay, right? So
stay for how long? Because I look at it and I'm like, he's never said he's going to be here forever, and I don't think anybody ever said we want you forever. But if he's making $1.1 million, good living, and if somebody's coming in a place like Louisville where he's got history, is going to say here's $3.5 million or whatever they're going to give him to go there. I mean, what does loyalty mean, and how when you say stay, how long?
Well, that's a great question, man. I can't really put an answer on that. Only thing I care about is Louisville basketball and Louisville basketball being on point. So if he's here, I love it. I mean, if somebody else comes in here, I just want them to commit to a certain extent to where they're just here for a while. I don't know if it's 5, I don't know if it's 10 years, but I just want some kind of commitment to where, hey, I know it's Albuquerque, New Mexico, but this community is huge when it comes to sports, and especially Louisville sports. So I really can't answer that because I'm going to be selfish, because if I feel like it's a good coach, I don't ever want him to leave.
Yeah, and I'm going to – Kenny Thomas with this. Every program, and I've said this I don't know how many times, every program's a stepping stone. And, Roy Williams left Kansas to go to North Carolina. I've said this a million times. Yeah. Every job is a stepping stone. And I hear that about New Mexico a lot. Look,
dude, they fired their last 2 coaches. So what stepping stone is that? Right.
And aside from Dave Bliss and Steve Alford, what coaches have used this to go to quote unquote better? Right, Franchione did in football, but think of a football coach or a basketball coach. I don't know, Kenny. To me, every job is a stepping stone. I don't know what loyalty means anymore. And by the way, fan base will turn on you in a heartbeat if you don't get them where they want you to be in the amount of time they want you to be there. He's Kenny Thomas. He's with us on the Sports Animal.
No, Kenny, when you went out in the NCAA tournament, and we just had this conversation about watching what Clemson did. Did you have that feeling, like the team that beat you? Did you watch what they did after the fact, or were you just on to the next thing that you had to get better at wherever you were?
Well, I think I was pissed off. I didn't want to watch any more basketball, especially that tournament, right? But then, obviously, you start hearing the noise, right? And Clemson is continuing to win, or that team that we lost to is continuing to win, and it just comes with the territory. One and done if you lose, and that's a nice dynamic of March Madness, because you're going up against teams that you've never played. It's hard to kind of scout them, but you can get kind of basic and general a game plan together to be able to go out and try and get a win. It's tough being able to win for 6 games in a row, 5-6 games in a row. So.
All right. I want to talk some NBA stuff when we get back. I want to talk to you a little bit about Draymond. Hey, can I ask you one other question on college before we go?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
now,
course.
you were never a guy at the end of the bench, all right? And I was watching the end of the San Diego State game, and I watched some of these games. Guys at the end of the bench, the 10th, 12th, 14th, 15th guy, are way better basketball players than I'll ever be. But they get into a game, and it looks like they can't catch. They're throwing up air balls. Is it just because they're cold they didn't expect to play? Like, those dudes can play in practice, right? Those guys are good ballers. Why do they look like they've never played basketball before when they get in at the end of a game?
Man, it's tough. I can relate to it because when I first got in the NBA, I know we're talking about college, right? But I feel like it goes both ways when it comes to college and professional basketball. And from my experience when I got to the NBA, I didn't play the first 45 games. And then you get in and you try and get it's garbage minutes, right? And you and you got to get in your, you got to get out of your head, because you can get to a place to where, okay, these are garbage minutes. He's putting me in because it's over, right? Or the game's out of reach, or whatever it may be. You got, being a young kid, you don't really realize that everybody's watching you, and you have to still go out there and be ready. But being cold and not catching a ball or doing something like that, it just comes to the territory, man. And there's no rhythm.
Yeah, I guess
you have no rhythm because you haven't played.
And you've been sitting there. I just watched some of these guys. I'm like, man, they're so much better than me. Like better than I'll ever would have been. And it looks like they can't catch a ball. Dude. They're throwing air balls.
But if you think about it, Bud, it's one of those things to where you might be playing good in practice. That's practice. You're going up against the starters every day, right?
Yeah.
And that's different opposed to getting in a game and playing against another team. Obviously, the teams are not going to go hard because the game's over, but they are way better than you, Jeff. But I hear you.
I'm down. All right. Hang with us. We want to talk some NBA stuff. Your latest on the latest Draymond stuff, and we got 10 games to go in the NBA. So Kenny Thomas is with us. We're kicking it with Kenny, and it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Out.
Shot up good! The madness!
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
With Kenny Thomas, the former Lobo great and 11-year NBA veteran, is with us. And all right, so I know you're close to Bay Area hoops, and I'm not going to argue with anybody that says Draymond Green is a key part of that dynasty, and they won 4 rings, and they wouldn't have won them without Draymond. And all that's right. Got thrown out again 4 minutes into a game the other day. There's 10 games left this season. They are on the brink of missing the play-in tournament. And Steve Kerr called it unforgivable. Steph Curry looked disgusted. I know you got thoughts on Draymond.
Man, they even said, like, Steph Curry was crying when Draymond got ejected that game. It's frustrating probably for Draymond's teammates because he's a huge factor when it comes to helping the Warriors be successful. And this is what they kind of did last year. That's why they ended up playing the Sacramento Kings last year. The Kings were a 3 seed, but the Warriors had to, I think they had to actually get in, right?
Yeah, they had the play-in tournament, yeah.
Yeah, so Steve Kerr, he's not used to that with the championships that he has with the Bulls and how good that the Warriors have been over the last several years. Sometimes these things happen. But you got to also think about Klay. Right? Klay just got back in the starting lineup, I think. And then there's so many different things that's going on down there to where you never thought that this group of guys would be going through the kind of shaky process right now because they're champions and they know how to win.
So I listened to a lot of commentary over the last 2 days. People saying that Steve Kerr is culpable. That this is Steph Curry and Steve Kerr's fault because they enabled this. That they rewarded Draymond with this new contract, and they've enabled it. I sit there and look at it, man. He's a grown ass man. At some point, aren't you responsible for your own behavior? But where do you come in on this enabling and they're responsible?
I agree with you, man. This is why we get along so well, Jeff. I totally agree with you. This is a man that got a 3-year, $100 million contract, I think.
Yeah.
To actually stay there, right, and to keep him there, especially with all the difficulty and how he is, and this part I probably shouldn't say this, but he's one of those guys that you want him to be passionate. He's like a house, right, to a certain extent. And then I can kind of see him like a meta, Ron Artest, aka Ron Artest, right? To where I played with him, and you got to kind of let those guys go. But I feel like with the Players Association, how they were trying to help him, and then he wasn't playing for a while, then he had to go through certain things. I feel like the thing that he did with the clothesline the other day to get ejected, it looks bad, but there's certain things you just can't do, and it's a little obvious that he's doing the things that he's doing.
Kenny,
it's kind of insane to me. But
here's the difference between him and House. House is available. House might agitate, but he doesn't get ejected and suspended. He's there for his teammates. He's available to play. Where Draymond, you don't know night in, night out when he's going to go off and not be available.
I just feel like he's in his own little world right now. I totally agree with you. I was simply trying to say when it comes to House, from the standpoint of allowing them to be them, right, to a certain extent. Like all the extra that he's doing, it's not necessary. So what are you trying to prove right now? Okay, everybody. I mean, how much attention do you really want, right? I think that's what it comes down to a little bit because he knows better. Now, if he was doing this when he first got in the league, I think it might be a different situation. It's just gotten really bad lately.
Kenny Thomas is with us here on the Sports Animal.
Kenny, it being late in the season, where the Warriors are, sitting in 10th place, it's still wild when you look at the Western Conference because the Warriors, they're 4 games over 500. But then you look at the Lakers, they're 41-32. Heck, Sacramento is 12 games above 500, but still just in 8th place. When you look at the Western Conference, do you recall a time when any conference, whether it's the West or East, has been that deep as the bottom is that good right now?
Yeah, it's really good because speaking of the Kings, like they play the Mavericks tonight. They just lost to the Mavericks, and then the Kings were above them, but I think they were equally tied at that point. And now the Kings are in 8th spot, and you got 10 games left, and it's gonna be close, man. You still got the Lakers that are 9, and you got the Warriors that are 10, and then I think you got one team behind them, and I think it's the Rockets.
Yeah,
the Rockets have won like 10 in a row, man. Right? It just came out of nowhere.
I was going to ask you about your Rockets. Because
go ahead,
I was going to ask you about your Rockets, man. And I say yours. I mean, one of your former teams, but holy smokes, where'd that come from?
Well, I feel like by adding a couple people, they added a lot of edgy guys, right? That's young and gritty and feel like they're full of passion. And then you got the young fella Green, man. He's playing some unbelievable ball right now. And the way he's building his confidence, he reminds me of a guy like Steve Francis, even though they're like different players to a certain extent, but they're both explosive. But me comparing them, it's like, hey, this is a guy that's like coming on the scene, making some noise. He's here. He's going to be there for a while. But we got to go back to Mike Brown with the Sacramento Kings, man. Kevin Huerter goes out, which was basically kind of like their sniper to a certain extent when it came to shooting, but he wasn't even shooting that well this year, I think. But it's going to open up. But you guys got to keep in mind, how do you feel about that top 3 with the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Thunder that are like neck and neck for number 1? Like, that's nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's insane, and they're all separated by a half a game. I mean, the Nuggets are up a half game on Minnesota and Oklahoma City right now, and Dude, Oklahoma City's intriguing to me. But okay, so let me ask you this. Let's just play this thing out. Let's say it ends up where the standings are now. And let's say the Lakers get through the play-in tournament and they're the 8th seed. They get the Nuggets in the first round? Nuggets want them? Or let's say they're the 7th seed and they get Minnesota in the second round. I mean, all of a sudden, look, the Lakers, the way they played, they beat the Bucks with Anthony Davis playing the way he did the other day without LeBron. That shows you, I mean, look, dude, they got to the conference finals out of the play-in tournament last year.
Well, the Lakers, I mean, if you look at the Lakers, the Kings beat them, I think, 2 or 3 times this year, and I think both times in L.A. They're playing some great ball, and the fact that that game went into 2 overtimes the other night, and AD and all those guys were dead tired, that shows a lot of grit and guts, because I don't think we were seeing that in the Lakers last year or the year before. I feel like if the Lakers do get the Nuggets or Minnesota, I feel like it's a whole new season, man. You got to keep that in mind. People get caught up in the regular season, and then you got to realize regular season is done. That's where postseason starts, and it's a whole new game. And then you got to, once again, you got to play a game at a time, and it's the best of 7, and anything can happen. It's kind of like the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, so. And I feel like there's a little desperation, like it's time running out in the Lakers, and this is what they've been playing for, and how long is that whole thing going to be together? There's just a little something there. If you get the Lakers, man, I think watch out a little bit. I think there's a potential there, more so to me than the Warriors right
now. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, but man, them Warriors. Let me tell you something.
I know. I ain't counting them out.
I'm not a Warriors fan, obviously, but man, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the postseason, or if they even make the postseason.
They got to get in first. They got to get in. All right, man. Enjoy the weekend. Always good catching up with you. We will catch you next Tuesday, maybe in studio, huh?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever you
I gotta make up my mind yet.
Yeah, let me know. Just give me an idea. Otherwise, we'll call you. All right. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the hoops. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks, JJ. I appreciate you guys.
He is Kenny Thomas, and we were kicking it with Kenny here on the Sports Animal. All right. I got a ton from you. 505-246-0610. Want to get you as much as we can. You got thoughts on what Kenny had to say. You're in on the Lobos. You're in on San Diego State getting run last night. It's all here for you on the opening drive on 95.9 FM. Oh, no. When we come back, Pedro Lopez is going to be with us. Isotopes manager. It's opening night. We got Pilo next.
Baseball is back in Albuquerque, and the Isotopes opening weekend is moving to 90.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason.
Opening day. Hope runs eternal, and it's such a great time. Going to be a beautiful day here in the Burque, capped by a perfect evening out at Isotopes Park. I'm sorry, Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park, or is it Rio Grande? Isotopes Baseball, you'll hear it on the Sports Animal all year, over on News Radio KKOB tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Isotopes and the El Paso Chihuahuas tonight. 6:35 first pitch. Opening day is special. The manager of your Albuquerque Isotopes is Pedro Lopez. And Pilo joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Pedro. How you living?
Good. Good morning, guys.
Happy opening day. Appreciate you getting up for us. You got butterflies. Feel different getting up this morning than maybe the last few?
Oh, no. Without a doubt. Been up since 7, so it's I already had my cup of coffee and just eager to get going here.
Just one cup of coffee? You live on one? I mean, it's commendable. I appreciate that.
Just one cup of coffee. Usually I just have one here and then one when I get to the ballpark, and that'll be it for coffee for me.
All right, I got to ask you a question before we get into your team. So the big club loses 16-1 last night. They gave up 14 runs in the third inning. So if you're Bud Black, you're the manager of that team, what's your message after the game? Because your bullpen held them scoreless for the last 5 1/3. You go in there and say, all right, boys, it's just one. We got another 161. Great job by the bullpen holding them down. Or you go, holy smokes, we just got steamrolled on opening day. What the hell just happened?
No, I think you just got to be able to flush that one out. I mean, that's over. There's nothing you can do about that one. Hopefully you can learn from the mistakes that were made the night before and move on. You just got to have a short-time memory in this game. And games like those can actually, kick you in the butt if you're thinking, too much about them. So, I just hope that they can put that one behind them. It's just the first game. Unfortunately, that's not the way you wanted to start the season. But there's nothing you can do about it now. That's in the books.
Yeah, does it sting more when it's the opener? Because you got all the excitement. You're coming out of spring camp. You feel good about yourself. It's all the hype of opening day. And then, like, that third inning just kept going and going and going. Or like you said, is it just you flush one because it's only one, even though it's the first one?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not a good feeling, like it's the first game of the season. But if there's things to feel good about, the bullpen did a good job. And then the other good thing, they weren't playing at home, so it's not like it's a home opener. They were playing on the road, and I know, for fans even back in Denver, that they were watching the game didn't feel good, but at least wasn't at home. So I just hope that they can put this one, that one behind them, and just move on. It's a long season. It's there's a lot of games to be played, and like I said earlier, hopefully they learn from their mistakes, and then they can just move on.
Isotopes manager Pedro Lopez with us. His long season starts tonight. It's the opener out at the ballpark. Isotopes in El Paso.
Pedro, you've talked openly about the grind that is minor league baseball, from being a player to coach in an organization and what you're putting in, are you getting that same thing back? What has it been over the last couple of years, and especially working with this Isotopes team that has maybe reignited that passion you have for the game of baseball and what you do with these players?
No, it's awesome. I really have to tell you, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I know I keep repeating myself, but I'm grateful for the front office of the Rockies to give me the opportunity to be here and be in this stage. I think there's a good group. I think last year we did something that hasn't been done in a long time here in Albuquerque. I think we set the tone with what we're trying to do as a team, and so I'm not expecting anything different this year. And I'll tell you, I'm extremely happy. I've been ready for opening night since January. I've been thinking about the team, how the team's going to look. Finally we got our roster together, and I'm extremely happy with the talent that we're about to put out in the field tonight.
Pedro Lopez, Isotopes manager, with us here on The Sports Animal. And with the changes we've seen throughout minor league baseball over the last few years, it comes to the game and then the season and the split season where you have a first half and second half. I know you can kind of reset mid-year. You guys did a fantastic job of that last year, but has it changed the way you approach the start of a season to where maybe you don't have as long as a ramp up as you might usually have back when it was a full season record?
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I think that the message that was sent to the players yesterday was my message in the second half last year. I think our playoffs starts tonight. Every game counts. We're trying to win every game. We're not going to wait until the second half to make a push. So, the message was sent last night, and guys are ready. I do, once again, I remember when I came in I want to say February, and I met with the media, and the question was asked whether I like the full season or two halves, and I do like the full season because it's a grind. I mean, not to say that two halves is not a grind. I mean, 150 games, it's still a grind in baseball. But I think the guys are gonna. That's what the guys are gonna see when they get to the big leagues. It's gonna be 162, and they gotta be ready for that. But it's minor league baseball. But still, this is our big leagues. Our big league starts tonight. Our playoff starts tonight, so hopefully these guys can go out there and execute and perform for the fans.
All right, Pilo, a couple of things that are constant in minor league baseball is your roster is going to change. And when you get opening day, you get a mix of prospects at AAA and veterans. And you've got, your Jordan Becks and Hunter Goodmans. I don't want to go down the whole roster. And you've got a lot of your starting pitching back from last year. Bottom line is I got guys that are going to call me, and I know which three guys are going to say, all right, but when are they going to win a championship? Is this, and always on opening day you like your roster, is this a good roster for this level? I know you need to develop, but the Rockies have started talking about winning at the minor league level. Is this a roster that can win?
Yes, without a doubt. And I think that most important, the front office, Chris Forbes, Jesse Sander, our GM, Bill Schmidt, I think they have done a tremendous job, moving guys up. I feel like the gap, that's something that we were missing last year. There was a big gap from AAA to AA. And I feel like we have closed that gap. I think that team in Hartford, they got some names, they got some guys that potentially we could see here this year. And so I feel like if there's a need from the big league club that they need somebody from here, somebody's going to get called up. I think there's a lot of talent and good players down in AA that can actually come up and help these ball clubs. So I feel extremely good about our chances to win. Like I said, we're trying to win every game. I told the guys the goal is, and we talked about it. I'm seeing myself celebrating in Vegas. That last game, is a championship game, and I see myself celebrating with the guys. So that's a message that's being sent to the guys, and hopefully we can go out there and perform.
Pila, I do want to ask you a specifics about one player. And Jordan Beck, 2 years ago, he was drafted 38th overall out of Tennessee. He's playing, high A ball, and then just like that, he's going to be making his AAA debut. What impressed you about that young man and the ceiling that he has on the baseball field?
I'll tell you what, it's a young man that is extremely confident. I've never seen him play. I saw him play this year in big league camp, and he opened up a lot of eyes, mine included. Plays the game the right way, plays hard. A guy that can guide the ball to all fields. He's a good outfielder. He's a complete athlete. So I'm looking forward to watching play on the nightly basis. He's going to be playing pretty much every position out in the outfield, and so I'm excited about having him in my club. I think our club this year is just a little younger than what it was last year. But I'll tell you what, it's a good feeling.
All right, there's a lot of new food items at the ballpark. There's desserts, the Thunder Cup Sundae, which is the cookies and cream, or you can have the maple bacon whiskey, or. So, what do you want a candle in for your birthday today? Because it is your birthday today. I know you want to win for your birthday. You putting a candle in a cocktail after the game. You putting it in a Thunder Cup Sundae. How we celebrating 55 today, Pilo?
I think a Sunday sounds pretty good right now.
All right.
After the game, that'd be cool.
All right, so you want the maple bacon whiskey and White Russian? Do you want the Skagit strawberry? I'm going to order it now. I'm going to put in the order to get it delivered. Cookies and cream, Danish vanilla bean, 4 chocolates, chocolate, Skagit strawberry, or maple bacon whiskey and White Russian?
I guess I'll go with the cookies and cream.
All right, so I'm putting in that order, and then you can have it layered with chocolate or caramel drizzle, and then any of the following toppings. You like M&Ms, graham cracker crumbs, gummy bears, Oreo cookie crumbs, sprinkles, or whipped cream. Or we can load it up because you're the boss, dude. M&Ms?
M&Ms.
All right, so we're going cookies and cream and M&Ms. I'm calling your guy Forrest. I'm putting in the order now. You can charge my account. We want a candle on it, and I know what you want today is a victory, right?
That's right, without a doubt.
All right.
Victory Sunday, let's do it.
What's better than a victory Sunday on Good Friday?
Ooh.
I know.
It sounds pretty good right now. I'm already hungry.
Happy birthday, man. Wishing you the best. Appreciate you spending some time. Have a great season. Enjoy opening day. Enjoy the season. I know we'll catch up a bunch during the year, but thanks for getting up early, having that coffee on your birthday, and go get them. Have fun.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right, Pedro, be well. Pedro Lopez, it's his birthday, and it is opening day. So, all right, so do I text Forrest? Just tell him, charge my account. Here's what Pilo wants. No, fine. I put him. I don't care.
Put it on my tab.
I got baseball bucks. Right? I'm fine. I'll buy the man a birthday Sunday. I got no problem with that. But he wants cookies and cream with M&Ms.
It's important to note, for anyone who did not see this, Jeff actually took down the order. I think he's
it's right
doing
here.
This. Yeah,
it's right here.
Very impressive.
Yeah, and
that was not theater of radio. That was real.
And I'm more than happy. I mean, if they can't buy the man a Sunday, then I'll buy the man a Sunday. I got no problem.
Slip on some baseball bucks.
Yeah, I got baseball bucks for that. All right, wrap it up when we get back. 505-246-0610. I got so much correspondence. This is where we've gone today. I don't know if this is good or bad, but DC Eric hit me on the Ginger and Marianne thing, which I know it's the world's oldest question. But he said apparently you've never gone out with a redhead. Redheads are cray. I'm like, no, I love me some redheads too. It was just something about, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you one more before we go. Jeffrey hit me. He's given this one some thought. I would have eliminated Gilligan and Mr. Howell after 1 week on the island, kept the old lady for cooking and washing my drawers, retained the practical scientific offerings of the professor, and enjoyed the delights of both Ginger and Marianne simultaneously. I promise you that wasn't the first time he's thought about this. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Moody's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
The Sports Animal. Orders placed. I talked to Forrest, and Mr. Traub showed me. I mean, he's already written it down on a sticky note. It's on his desk in the GM's office with a candle. Right? It's good, right?
We get things done on the opening drive.
Yeah.
Do you want a Sunday? We got you.
Terry said I picked Marianne from Kansas. I thought it was Jeffrey back then. He called in and said, "Why not both?" Still miss Lance. Why not both? He also did a great cartoon. The original Mr. Peabody and Sherman was part of the Rocky and Bullwinkle. So that was good. That was good. Text on Clemson was just fired up. You could tell the interview press conference before the game. They were so annoyed and took it out on a lesser Lobo team. All right. However you feel. I just asked the question earlier. Let me give you this one. We had the conversation earlier about Lobos and Clemson. Do you feel any differently now? I didn't say better. I didn't say differently after watching Clemson make this run to the Elite Eight. David said, to clarify, Kenny, the Lobos have played in the round of 16 before. It just wasn't called the Sweet 16 back then. Also, you had to win the regular season conference back then to get into the tournament. Do you know how many NCAA tournaments the Lobos would have qualified for during Kenny's time with that rule? 0. Lucky for San Diego State, they didn't run into Clemson at any point because their run would have been ended by Clemson as well. The Lobos were better than San Diego State this year. Matchups are king. Matchups are king, man. I don't disagree with that at all. Matchups are king, and the Lobos did take 2 out of 3 from San Diego State. Now, you guys argue this all you want. Whatever, their fans will tell you one thing, your fans will tell them another. Whatever makes you feel better. I mean, you want Nets, you want a Sweet 16, and whatever. And they put both. One has each, right? Yeah. I mean, literally. Well, one's got Nets.
and it's been prefaced, and I don't think we need to say it all the time. In this version of the tournament, Lobo's never been this week.
Right.
That's the
since it went to 64
ceiling
plus.
you're trying to break.
That's right. Dan, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Dan.
Hey, how you doing, fellas? Hey, what a difference a week makes. Last week we were looking at the Lobos, trying to beat Clemson and everything, and, what happened? They lost. Clemson now is an Elite Eight team, and, the Lobos have nothing to hang their heads about this year. It was a great season, a great championship season. You guys won the Mountain West. You made a name for yourself, and you ran into a good team that beat you, and you know what? They're continuing to win. So don't feel bad. You lost to a good club, and they're still in the mix, all right? And the other thing, too, I kind of look at this, and I know Lobo fans, half of you are Cowboy fans, so I know you're used to losing, So there you go, guys. Listen, go to Isotopes. We got football coming up and baseball. And, hey, look, a wonderful season, a great team. And you know how good your team was? They went to try to grab your coach. At least we still have our coach. Right? And that's how good the Lobo basketball season was this year, fellas. It was great to be a part of it. And guys, stay with it and enjoy it, and we'll have a better season next year. Thanks, fellas. Take care.
See you. And I think it's good perspective, not just on the Cowboys part, but I mean on the whole thing. I think it's good perspective. Howard, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Howie?
Yeah. I love you.
All right.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
It was a Lobo game with a definite chip on their shoulder, a number 5 seed, and they were underdogs in the game. They came in with something to prove. They've been proving it repeatedly. It doesn't make me feel better about the loss, but it makes me feel like we deserved to be there, which I believe we did. And then you had an earlier caller that said something about they were glad about San Diego State losing by 30. I'm not. I would have much rather that been a competitive, tightly fought game, and San Diego State, if they had to lose by 3 to 5 points, and it just makes the strength of our conference look better, and I would have much rather they won. And then we got more revenue, infused into the conference. So it doesn't make me feel good that San Diego State lost last night in the manner they did. I was rooting for them all the way. So, Hey, happy holiday weekend, guys.
Enjoy it. See you. All right. It's funny. I think Lobo fans split on that one. There's a part of it. I think this Union flag with the whole Mountain West, all for one, was a 3-day deal. It went out the window last week, and everybody started ripping back into each other. You're an idiot. You suck. You suck. You suck. And you suck.
I think it was Lobos played at 109 last Friday.
Yeah.
Game ended what? After 3 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
That's exactly the moment where it went off. You're like, weep, everyone. Let's all go home.
Yeah. And it was even
no joy for anyone else.
And it was something. Whoa. What do I have on time? All right. This Gus in honor of PCL opening day. When you win at the AAA level, it's fun. When you win at the AAA level, people go to games. Everyone wants to take the trophy home. I know it's crazy. Believe me when I tell you they want to hang banners on the wall. When you win at the AAA level, the hot dogs taste better. When you win at the AAA level, you'll pay more for beer. Maybe it's ego. I'll stay away from fireworks shows. Attended fair-weathered fans and faint-hearted losers. And every time one happens, it just convinces me more. When you win at the AAA level, the fun never ends. When you win at the AAA level, you can't take your eyes off the field. I know it's crazy. Believe me when I tell you everyone wants to hang banners on the wall. You don't have to go alone. The fun never ends. It never ends. You can't take your eyes off the field. It's a poem from Gus. Okay? Thank you, Gus. I don't know if I agree with it all, but I appreciate the effort that you put into the prose. And it's Prose, not Pro''s or Pros. And I appreciate the effort. All right, what do you got to know as you go through your day? We got here on the Sports Animal today. We have NCAA basketball. So tonight, and I think our coverage starts at 4. Is that right with the pregame? You get NC State and Marquette. That'll be the first game today. NC State and Marquette. Then you get Gonzaga versus Purdue, Duke versus Houston, and Creighton versus Tennessee. I got a contingency. It's a good thing I put so the general manager, Big Dog, he's got the order written down for Pilo's Sunday. The manager of the Isotopes' birthday today. He put in his order. Well, we put in an order for Sunday, birthday Sunday. Only if they win, or only if we win. It says. I don't know.
It's his.
So you don't get, all right. I mean, look, it's tough over there. I think some of you are going to say, good, damn it, it's about time they get that attitude. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Only if they win. The Chihuahuas are in town, big rivalry. If you're looking for Isotopes baseball on the radio this weekend, if you're out and about and you're want to listen to the game, it will be over on News Radio KKOB. So Isotopes on KKOB today, tomorrow, and Sunday, whilst we offer you the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight here on the Sports Animal. It's also baseball. You've got Major League Baseball going on this weekend. We got a little golf going on. I think they're in Texas this weekend. If you're into that, the Masters coming up in 2 weeks. So we're coming up deep on that. There'll be some sort of new rumor and who will be the hot quarterback running up the draft board when we sit here on Monday. Will it be Bo Nix's turn? Does Bo Nix get a turn to be the hot prospect climbing up?
When does Bo Nix get his moment?
Pro day?
To shine.
Yeah. Rockies win a game this weekend? Come on now.
Hopefully. We'll see. It's a rough start, though.
It was a rough start, huh?
An epic start to the season of sorts.
Yeah. All right.
One thing, though.
Yes.
Frozen 4 this weekend.
Frozen 4 this weekend.
Yeah. On Saturday, there are 45 drafted players playing in the 2 games. Good hockey.
Yeah, it's really good. No, I love watching that. One other thing, and this is a big Mountain West Conference baseball series. Lobos, who took 2 out of 3 from San Jose State last week and dropped 2 out of 3 to Nevada and swept UNLV before that, have a big series there in San Diego. They took the first game of the series yesterday against the Aztecs 5-2. So they play a doubleheader today, and it's a big baseball series for them. All right, thanks to Kenny Thomas and to Pedro Lopez, the birthday boy, for being with us today. The Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Callan Cowers after that. March Madness coverage starts at 4, and then we're back with award-winning radio on Monday starting at 7 a.m. Have a great, safe holiday weekend, boys and girls. Enjoy the family, the weather. It should be a beautiful, beautiful weekend, and be safe. Adrian, great week. DC, great stuff, man. Glad you're here. Glad you're part of it. Invaluable part of it. Obviously, you are. Big weekend for you.
Huge.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you on Monday.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia.
I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.